Hello, MFL managers, and welcome to Yorkshire Tea and XP, brewed in the heart of Yorkshire by three play MFL-obsessed managers. Because Mr. K is editing this week, we don't have any nameplates because he's too lazy. He can't be bothered to do it, so I am Bruce Lee. Yeah. Mr. K is to my left, and rootcoors is to my right, just to clarify that for you. Before we go into the podcast, just want to say we are not pundits, we are not pros. We are just three lads with a shared obsession for progression, tactics, and agency building in Play MFL. Each week we'll bring you laughs, insights, chaos, and cuppers, tracking our journeys from raw to rare and beyond. So, lads, it's feels like forever since we've seen Root, and now he's got a nice red face from his holiday. So, obviously, how have we all been this week?
Yeah, good, really good. Good week away, so it was good. I caught the pod while I was away, so I got, obviously, the preview of it before it went out, which was good. And then, like you say, elephant in the room, massive white areas, so everyone can laugh. Not at me, hopefully, but it obviously looks bad. So that was
it'll definitely.
Yeah, they will be laughing at me. But yeah, I thought you did a really good pod. I thought it was really good. Kev on it last week. I thought he did a really good job as well. And he definitely is Mr. Tactics because he just knows his stuff, doesn't he? So
yeah,
that was really good.
It was really insightful, and it was good to see his mindset because then it put me. It was sort of like, oh, I'm on the right tracks then because we'll follow a similar thing, and it's like, I'm on the right track because he knows exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah,
a really good, insightful episode, I thought.
I mean, I did the tactic testing for this one, and it just every time I do it, the results weren't too bad, which we can jump into, but I literally don't. For someone that's played Football Manager since the beginning of time, I realise I just don't know much about tactics. So no wonder I just stick to the same tactic most of the time. But I like it though. I really like the one we've done for this week. So when we get to it, and I wouldn't mind trying to run it next season. But obviously I'll need some wingers in there. So
cool. Yeah. So what about you, Mr. K? How's your week been?
Yeah, it's not been too bad, mate. From an MFL perspective, it's been very up and down. It's been a tough second half of the season for a couple of the teams. The other team, steady away. I've enjoyed the tactic testing this season. This is for this week, because I've really been intrigued in this tactic since I saw it, because it just looks obscene for anything else that's out there, and I've always had some difficulty coming up against it, especially. We were talking just before we got started about these out-of-position players that have higher ratings when they move around, and the amount of cup teams are seen with that sort of formation who are running those and they're just so overpowered in their particular cup because their players on average are about 5 ratings higher than face values. So yeah, it's been a fun one to test this week, this one, and I feel like I got some interesting tests. I need to dig them out though because I've been tactic testing like a demon all day because the Silver League. Whew, that's been a tough second half. It's brought me down to earth with a bump this week as the silver team second half of the season. But I'm sure we'll cover that shortly.
We will. I think I've had a similar thing. It was like, I mean, I fixed it now, but right after, and it's funny, like the last pod we were talking about, does the engine change in the second half of the season? The start of the second half of the season, I had a couple of blips, and I was like, oh my god, like what the hell? It's tinfoil hats on, engine's changed, different engine. It's all sorted itself out now, as we'll get into when we go to the clubs. But for me as well, I also appeared on Amreezy's YouTube channel this week on his Planet MFL series. And I know you guys were lined up to go on there eventually. I'm just going to say it was really fun. If you haven't checked it out, then go check out Amreezy's channel and see the interview. He's just a really nice bloke and just got to sit and chat MFL for an hour, and it was just it was really, really cool. So I enjoyed that quite a lot.
Yeah, I'll definitely watch it. Definitely.
Yeah, I remember when he first did his MFL documentary, when he did his first episode, he sort of shared it with me and sort of wanted some feedback. And I said to him, it was a really refreshing take, really good idea, good thing, but he's just such a nice chap to talk to. Really? So it'd be nice to actually chat to him properly as opposed to just digitally over Discord and stuff for a change. But yeah, it's on my watch list. I haven't got round to it yet.
Yeah.
Did he regret asking your opinion, Adam, or was he all right with that?
Well, I'm Reezy asking my opinion. No, I gave him a glowing feedback, couple of suggestions and ideas, and he did his homework. So we'll find out if you've done yours this week, Root.
I have, and actually, I know you guys have seen it, but I will show it on stream. Look at this, boys.
Cut that, Mitch.
Look
Already,
at
we've got,
this.
like. I'm gonna steal your joke, Mr. K. 50 subscribers, and we've already got merch.
We've already got merch. Get ready, guys, for your Christmas shopping. The store will be up by the time Christmas comes.
Got to start somewhere. Don't build an empire
It's
today.
cool. To be fair, we should all have one because we've all got different mugs, so we should all have one of them, I reckon.
To be fair, I think
I'll,
it's piss poor that Root hasn't bought one for all of us. He just got one for himself.
Do you know what?
Just put it out there.
I showed my brother it when I was ordering it, and then I showed him it when he came round today, and I showed him it in person. He was like, "Oh, that's proper good." He's like, "Did you get the other boys one and send it to their house?" And I was like, "Did I f?" I was like, "No." He was like, "That is bad form. That is bad form." I know.
Swan's off on holiday, comes back with merch, doesn't tell us, and doesn't get us out.
No.
And you wonder why we take the piss.
Yeah, can we make a transfer with a ramble? Get Kevin as
They've rejected it. I've just checked the inbox.
Guys.
They've rejected the offer.
Oh, damn.
I obviously didn't want to order 3 in case you didn't think it was that good, but obviously you love it, so we'll have to get you one sorted each.
I don't want one now. I don't want to do
Okay.
See if Santa brings you on. See if you've been a good boy.
So, merch aside, let's get into it this week, and let's go over our agencies. Does anybody want to go first and quickly run through it? Because we actually have a lot to talk about this week, because we've noticed, I don't know if you've seen, but there was a tweet put out that MFL are partnering with Flowhack, is it called? It's
Yeah.
like a convention all through the month of October, and if people build on top of MFL, the best one wins 250k. And we also saw it in the Discord earlier in the week, like last week, and they were talking about things they do, improvements, and that is going to be our topic of the week, things that we'd like to improve, think we should improve in the game. So we're going to get to that. So let's rattle through the clubs first, and then get to that subject, because I think that's going to be pretty good, I think. So, yeah, who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Cool.
See if this screen sharing wants to play. Let's have a look.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, exactly.
Uh-oh.
Got a message saying something's doing something. What are we saying?
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah?
It's coming up, don't worry.
Okay, so I'll tell you what. One thing, I know we will
It's
get
not
onto it
coming
when
up. It's not coming
It's
up.
not.
Time out.
Time out!
You've done it already. I can see you've got a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah.
So,
Lads, when we get a
stop
week,
sharing.
when we
So,
get a
Root,
week, when we get a
banging.
week with no technical difficulties, that's going to be crazy.
Are you actually couldn't see what I was sharing?
No, it's just a black screen, mate.
Is that your progress over the last week?
This is just really. I'm right.
Do we have to do it for you, Grandad?
No. I'm gonna open another browser, and we're gonna try. Like, look, if we can't have a week without. Did you have any technical difficulties last week? I can't remember. Yeah.
We did last week,
Yeah. Good in a way.
It was Kev, though. It was Kev.
It was Kev.
Yeah, to be
Right.
fair.
You wouldn't have noticed it because we fixed the sound. But you could hear Kev's fans going off in the background the entire time, and it was like, God damn it. But no, we fixed it. So,
What about this one?
it's trying
That's
to load.
really impressive, that, mate. It looks really good.
Yeah, lovely black screen. Yeah,
Why-
someone's
why
going to
is
have
it
to do it for you, Grandad.
Right. Come on. Well,
That's so annoying. That I'm not happy with that.
Don't worry. You've had a week off. You're just out the groove at the moment. We'll sort you out. Don't you
Right.
worry.
We're only showing the Rum Lads
So this is how
dockside
you
and
do it.
outskirts. So
What you do basically is you click share screen, and you click on another screen and you share it, and this is what it looks like. So, which club would you like to go to?
this is going to be fun, isn't it?
Oh yes.
Nearly
You've had
an
a
hour
week
and a
off,
half
so
of you.
I'm
boy. I know,
laying into you this
grilling
week.
it.
So go on.
Yeah.
Which clubs are we going
Right. Go to the Rum Lads first,
for?
please.
Lads, yeah, let's do it.
Let's have a look at these. So, as you can see, my form is not that great, but by some miracle, we're only 5 points behind third. Now, at the start of the season, I think we're actually predicted to be about 9th anyway on the predictions at the start of the season. So technically, we're overperforming. I don't know what I would do if they snuck into that play. Say again.
Not technically, you are over
Yeah.
fifth, man.
So I don't know what I would do if we got into that playoff spot and we actually went up. How many games have we got left? 3. So it's probably unlikely. But
you're playing two teams further down the league, though. I was just having a look at that. You've got 9th place tonight. In your last game, you've got 10th place.
Yeah.
And you've got top of the league tomorrow. Yeah, because the cup final games are on Tuesdays, aren't they? So they don't have any league games on those days.
Yeah.
So you're playing top of the league. Oh, Jesus. Look at top of the league. 98 goals.
I know. It's mad, isn't it? Absolutely mad.
What is going on here? We'll come back to your club in a second. Like, what is going on here?
Go and have a look.
Well, that's a bit obscene.
83 right winger in ice.
An 82 rated player as well. Look at that. Okay, Mr. Daniel. I mean, the 29th. Yeah, 29 years old. I mean, yeah, I'm not surprised they're doing all right. Anyway.
Yeah, he's stacked his team, hasn't he? No, you're fine. It's fine. It's good to have a look at other clubs anyway. So yeah, I'm happy with the season, and I wanted to stay in ice. So no chance of us going down. So I'm absolutely happy with that. So yeah, they're just not getting very good results at the minute. Rotations worked really well. Happy with how everyone's rotating. Progression's gone really well on a lot of the players for the season as well. So I think the right back that we talked about, and I opened on one of the, was it the pack drop, wasn't it? And then I replaced somebody with him at the start of the season, and he's literally flying. He's on a +4 for the season, so he's done really, really well. Like you say, I've had a couple of people contact me about him as well. I know Bruce thinks obviously his physicality needs to go up, but I think he's had a +2 or +3 on his physical this season, has he?
+3.
Yeah, +3, yeah. So not too bad. So yeah, that club's doing all right. So plan is obviously the idea was I wanted Dockside to go up, which is who we'll look at next, and that's just not happening, unfortunately. So the plan next season, I'll probably go against what I did for this season. So if you remember at the beginning, the idea was to have everything tiered. But I need this club in ice because this needs to be my main club, the Dockside. That's who I want them to be. So just not got very good form. Just not going very well. We just can't seem to get a win. But we're playing all right though. The team in the squad is a good squad, and they play all right. It's just the wheels have just come off for this second half of the season. So again, to what you were saying, Bruce, about has something changed in the engine or whatever, and it's not been said. The first half of the season, Dockside were doing really well. So I was really happy with how they were going, and now they're just, wheels have fallen off. So again, they could get into third, probably won't, but never say never, as Justin Bieber would say. Great, showing my Justin Bieber fanness there. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going with that. I don't know where I'm going with this. Oh my days!
Why are you giving us such easy ammunition?
I tell you what, boys, right? Thing is,
low-hanging fruit.
I left holiday at like 3:30 yesterday morning, so I hardly slept on Friday night, and then last night decided to stay up until stupid o'clock this morning as well. So I'm knackered. That's my excuse for that statement. Does that work? No. Brilliant.
If you're a 13-year-old girl, yes, but no.
So with the Dockside, the plan is, so obviously got some new recruits that have come in, which obviously we'll look at later on in the pod maybe, or something like that in terms of purchase and stuff. I know obviously Big Mr. K wants to cover his. So I think the idea is to strengthen some players in here and get everybody in their 60s and maybe even a couple of 65s or whatever in there. Like my older players that I loaned out. Not loan them out and put them in here just for a season to get them up into ice, because I don't want to be mid-table finishing with them all the time. So, but I won't take the players from the Rum lads, if that makes sense. I've got enough to put in here anyway, so I'm in a good place. So that's not too bad.
If you're pushing, as sad as it is to say it, if you're pushing for promotion in Spark, unfortunately, I don't think that squad's going to cut it.
No,
it will need to be strengthened.
Yeah, it needs to be strengthened. The weird thing was, obviously, again, we predicted like mid-table. I knew it wasn't that strong. But at the start of the season, if you remember one of the earlier pods, we were flying as well. Even though we were like underpowered, we were just playing so well and we were flying. And then literally second half of the season, it's just the wheels have literally just fallen off the bus. But yeah, so I'll put some of the mid-low 60s in there and just get everyone in the 60s, and then I'll move some of the other players to outskirts, and I'll just figure it out that way, really. So yeah, the only other one I want to talk about on here is just the outskirts, which is the last one.
Yeah, one
Who
second, mate.
potentially need to up their game. Yeah, so these definitely don't need to get relegated. But I have learnt my lesson. Like the lesson of the bandings that I did for a reason, for progression. And as you've seen, if we go to all the players in my agency and look at progression, which we can do at some point, everybody's progressing over the season. Okay, I'm quite happy. They're all, there's lots of +2s, +1s here and there, but not enough to outweigh having the better players. I'm not seeing remarkably better progression just by having the bandings close. And I think that's because some of the players have improved and then they're moving the banding away from the top 16. But yeah, that's not strong enough to stay in Spark, that team. So, as I said, what I'll do is the ones that are in the dock side now will come into here because obviously the dock side is good enough to be a Spark club and churn through Spark. This isn't. And then dockside will get refilled out with players that can take them up ideally. And that's fine. I mean, I'm not bothered about my other clubs. Like the only one I'm bothered about is the Highways, which again is not strong enough to get out of Flint because everyone's like putting really high rated players in Flint to get out of it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and I know you were talking about your missus, Bruce, a couple of pods ago. Like she's doing really well, but obviously she's got some higher rated players in there. So again, what I'm likely to do for the Highways, because I need to get them in Spark, because that's the point. I only want the 2 at the bottom. I think what I'm going to have to do is put some of my older players again that are higher rated in there and just play that game of get out of Flint, which is not how I want to play the game, but I think I need to do that to get them in Spark. I mean, I could get rid of the club and just get a Spark club, but I'm set with everything now, so I don't want to have to mess around, selling, buying, and doing all that. I just don't see the point. So I can make it work. But then, yeah, if you just... do you want to look at... Yeah, just if in the agency, if you just go into the players and just look at... Just look at the recent joined the agency.
Oh, recently joined the agency. What?
Yeah, so just yeah. So yeah, so most of these guys picked up from McBride. So obviously, as you know, I'm good friends with him. So just was talking about he's selling up a load of his players. So this is where I've tried to strengthen. So the idea is these 23, 22, 19-year-olds will go into the team that's already in ice. And then the players from that team that are a bit older now, like not older, but like 26, 27, 28, will come into Dockside. It's hard to explain, but when we go through the one that you and I do, Bruce, I think we'll do season previews in the pod next week. So then I'll show it, and it should make a little bit more sense. But some of those players have got really good progression, and obviously got them really, really good value. I know we discussed it in the Discord. So, but yeah. That's me really, my overview. So pretty much I think the only risk is Outskirts need to get a win in those last 3 games, because otherwise they're going to be in a playoff to stay up, which I just don't need.
Yeah.
Don't need that headache.
I brought this up again, the MFL manager sort of average division ratings for this current season, as this is for Spark. The top 25% is sitting at 64.33. Now, I know it's MFL manager ratings, it's a combination of all the different variables that they use, but by and large, broadly speaking, best 16 average. Top 25 being 64, 61 being top 50%, and then 57.28 being top 75. I was actually quite surprised by that, and I was surprised last week when we had Kev on, and he has lots of clubs in different divisions, and I was looking at the power curve and going, it has changed so much, even from last season. And I've got an example because I like doing all my tracking and stuff from previous seasons, so planning from the previous season. This was me working out, okay, there's Spark. That's what they were season 7, or season 6 average, sorry. So beginning of season 7, the top 25% was 62.4 now, so it's gone up to 64.33, 58.59 for top 50, it's now at 61.22, and the top 75 was 54.84, and it's now 57.28, because one of your latter teams, when you were sort of saying, I think I need to stack them a bit more, I worked out roughly your best 16 average was around 57 on average, and I was surprised at that when I thought, I'm thinking like middle of the pack. Actually, by this, depending on the league you get,
Yeah.
it could be quite a battle, really.
Yeah.
And
I think that's the key, because when I went into this season, the averages I took were pretty much what you said. So like season 6, season 7 averages, and thought, right, okay, if I want to get the Dockside up, and really the average of what Dockside is, they should have been towards the top end of Spark and, trying to get in the playoffs or whatever. So I knew it wasn't going to be easy, but I didn't want it to be easy. I like to play MFL for fun, and I like to play it as a challenge. I don't want it to be easy, which is why I'm really anti-stacking big players in lower leagues, because I just don't like it. So it's just, that's personal preference, by the way, and that's no criticism of anybody that's doing that. That's just how I like to do it.
Yeah, people
but
have got
quite
to play
clearly, you've just said here, like, literally need to have higher rated players in them now if you need to get it out quite a lot.
I think someone's trying to get out of Flint.
Yeah, that's insane. That's
That is
an iron
insane.
team. That's an iron team.
Yeah, that's iron. That's pretty much iron, yeah. Like top 25 iron team, that.
Insane. In Flint.
And the thing is,
you want to get out, you got to do it somewhere.
And
I mean,
no, but jeez.
don't want to criticise that manager again, obviously, because that's not going to help our fan base. But like, if I had a team that were 80s, I'd have just got a club in that level for that player, because the MFL returns you would get would be massive. Because again, going from the bottom to the top, and I know we're talking about doing that for a club for us, and I know we were saying like for next season, if we get a club in front and build it through. And I think I remember saying I'm all for that, but I don't just want to go and bang 70, 60, really high 60 rated players in it. We want to do it where it's a challenge and it's exciting, and we win games, we lose games, and we battle it through, and we mess around with tactics and so on.
Well, I was going to say, like, yeah, you could just go buy an iron team and put those players in. Maybe it's a location he wants to get promoted, fair enough, but you could still do it. Like, my wife, it's about 58, 59, and she's running away with Flint. Like, you could do it with 62s, a squad of 62 players. You don't need that's just overkill, and it's a shame for those players that are in there. I'm sure they're all old and maybe not great progression or something or whatever, but it's just a shame for those players in themselves and all the other players in that league, because that's just like, even if he doesn't rotate, it's going to be like, how are they going to compete with that, like, at all? It's just, I know tonight I'm playing this guy, I'm gonna get murdered. Like, what's the point? Like, but yeah, he could do the same thing with a 62 rated squad and still walk it. Like, yeah.
Like you say, it's got to be maybe, like you say, location based, which I guess is what I'm doing with Dockside, right? It's all about location, but I still doesn't feel good to me to stack them, which is why I'm saying I'll go a bit higher. So instead of having them 60s and 50s, I'll just make sure they're all in the 60s and mid to low 60s. So I still don't think that's stacking a team in Spark to get out. I still think that will be, you won't win every single game. So that's fine.
Okay, cool. Well, with Root out of the way, as you've already sharing screen, we may as well go with you, Mr. K.
No worries. I'm not going to bother with Keto because basically it's a relegation dogfight. We're highly likely to go anywhere. I've managed to turn some of it around. We're just wildly underpowered for the league. Wildly. I mean, if I go back to the MFL manager thingy, here we go. 78.14. We're nowhere near that. I think we're about 74. Best 16 average sort of thing. So yeah, it's been an uphill struggle. I've been in touch with Bosco recently actually just to see how he's getting on, and he's not too worried and stuff. It is what it is. But if I go to my bronze team, pardon?
You got a club left?
Yeah, I sold them in the mid-season. I'm sure I mentioned it last week. You said you listened to the pod.
When I was listening to the pod, I was just listening to Bruce most of the time, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Cause,
I thought every time you said something, it was going to be a dig at me, so I just
Me?
Yeah.
I wouldn't dream of it. Anyway, second half of this season now with the bronze team. We've got a game in hand because it's an 11-team league at the moment. We're nowhere near the drop, which is what I wanted to avoid. I felt like we should really be on 32 because we managed to draw last night and we battered them. I don't know how we ended up drawing that game. But by and large, we've been doing very well against a number of teams near the top of the league and stuff. So yeah, 2 games left. Team right behind us, and I don't know where the other team are. Second in the league. we're not realistically going to be fighting for promotion, but I wanted to stay in the division. That was the main thing, and help us continue to progress some of these teams, because the idea is this team, I want it to do well, but I want it to be a feeder for the Silver Club. So yeah, nothing really to write home about that one. But for the Silver team, this time last week, it was like, right, it's been going great. Awesome stuff, guys. Great job. And then it's gone, if you look at our league form, league has been an absolute horror show. We've lost a couple of the, your rock, paper, scissors sort of games. Last night was a rock, paper, scissors. I was certain he was going with the 3-4-3 diamond based on his usual rotational process, and he didn't. He went for his 4-3-2-1, which our 4-3-3 attack was not the strongest lineup, but would counter the 4-3-3 diamond, 3-4-3 diamond really well. It didn't against the 4-3-2-1. We got absolutely blown out in that game. Top of the league, we're actually quite unlucky to get a draw in that one. I lost, because we were very close. Got a win, I think this is Big Wilbert's team, one of them. I think it is. Trust the process, sorry. Bill Wilbert's got a team in this league as well. He's Keto. We managed to get a win against them recently, which is our one little green bit there. And it's just been some poor performances. It's just not quite clicking, and I think realistically, it's a recalibration of realistically the best 16 averages coming round in the second half of the season to right the wrongs of the first half of the season. Because if I go to, I've been on this site a few times already, but let's do it now. This is the projections for the league. We're all the way down here. We were due to be one of the weakest teams in the league. It's all about staying in the division, but if I go back to it, some big games at the moment now coming up. We've got 11th place tonight. We've then got one place behind us in the league the game after. Come on to that in a second. And then we've got one of the BFC Dow teams and Snakes running it last game of the season. And at the moment, from the relegation playoff spot, we are 3 points away. Yes, it's got very tight. But if you look at from 4th down to 9th, it's separated by 5 points.
When I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh wow, he's well overperforming. He's up in 5th, and obviously you are technically in 5th. But then you look at the actual overall.
This was the first game of the second half of the season. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 losses in the second half of the season. Which I think we were on 2 league losses at that point. And we've just picked up 1 solitary win. So fingers crossed. I have been really pulling my finger out in terms of tactic testing. In the Cup, however, we have managed to get through in the second half of the season. We managed to win our, what would that be? Last 16 game, quarter-final 4-0. And then in the semi-final came out 2-0. So on Tuesday we entered the Cup final. Haven't done much scouting against that team as of yet. But so far it does mean we have secured... How much MFL was it for this now? Where is it? Is it an info on it? There we go. I'm used to doing it on the mobile.
Wow.
Here we go. Yeah, we've secured 50k in terms of MFL. 67 if we win it. I want a second cup. I've got 1 cup in my agency that I've ever won. I'd like to get that second one. So yeah, it's going to be down to how we fare against these guys. Tilburg.
We'll have to take a look at them. Let's have a look at them.
Oh, OP formation.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
So you've got to think about this, right? Because that's 17k, right? Mm-hmm. Difference between winning and losing. Mm-hmm. And you're talking about how tight it is in the relegation. Which one do you prioritise?
Relegation.
You're prioritising the relegation, even though that's 17K.
I want the title. I want that title. But if we go to the competition, to go for the league, and we look at the info on a Silver League team. So finishing down in 9th, which is a possibility, it's 50. At the moment, we're 5th on 64. So similar sort of variance. There's a bit more in the cup if you won it overall. But if you did get relegated, and I go down to bronze now, just pick a random division, info. There's a massive drop-off in terms of MFL in bronze.
Yeah.
So I want to sustain in silver. I feel like over the course of the season, we do deserve to stay in the league. But we need to arrest this second half of the season form. We've lost a couple of coin flips, have lost out on the tactical rock, paper, scissors. And in some games, the other team were just far better than us on paper already. And it just went their way. So you can't really always argue about them. I mean, I can't remember about Quito, how that game went off the top of my head. Yeah, I mean, it was a deserved win for them in the end in this game. And I felt like I found the 4-2-2 does very well against a 4-2-3-1. It just didn't in this game. That was just the way it felt that game, and it is what it is. If I go back to that team, these lineups again, super quick, and just show overalls. I mean, if you look at the overall their team comparative to ours, we had to rotate some players for the cup game and stuff. On average, it's a much stronger team.
Yeah.
It's fair dues. It is what it is. We went into the season knowing it was going to be a battle, and we've also got a low number league, and tends to be these teams have been around in this ladder for quite a while. They've got very strong teams. If it was a higher numbered silver league, I'd argue some of the divisions are a bit easier the higher number that you go, but it is what it is. You've got to beat what's in front of you. So we're in a challenge. Hopefully, if we can get a point tonight minimum, if not a win, that would really rest my worries about this, because I won't lie, I was up last night really worrying about like all this stuff that I'm trying to work out in my head about how to counter it, because tonight's opponents will be 4-3-3-A or 4-3-3-D, and trying to choose a singular tactic and formation to set up against them, given this massive swing in terms of how those teams can be set up, was quite tricky. I mean, go to their team. I mean,
bloody hell.
They're a much stronger team. Much stronger team. So it's like, okay, what are we going to do about this? See what we can do.
Yeah.
I've been tactic testing today, and I'll be honest with you guys. I've been tactic testing the 4-1-4-1 against very different formations. So recent form, 3-4-3-D. From about here, I made another swap. They play 4-3-3 attack. I've tweaked the tactic again, and I've got it cooking. So hopefully, I get more wins against a 4-3-3 attack, and I get more draws, and it's 50-50 on a win or a loss with against the D formation. Hope for the attack, and hope that we fall the right side of the variance on that one, because, yeah, a lot of tricky games coming up. A lot of tricky games.
How are they down in 11th with the squad like that?
I would argue this season has fallen very kindly for the strength of team that I have, because people have found it difficult to get to grips with the engine. That's what I would put it down to. Because if I go to this team super quick, because I'd ask the same question, like, how? But so many people have found this difficult. Go back to the first time we played, because I did have a nosy about how I set up against them the first time round. Where are we? There we go. Beat them in the first time we played them. Tactically, I felt I dropped on this one. I've been testing it, and I thought, okay, this kind of works. And we controlled the game. We created some really good opportunities. I don't feel like this will work tonight. If I put that against a 4-3-3-D, it will get obliterated. So I needed to find a formation that would sort of counter the two of them. But I think, as we were discussing with Kev last week, you get to the halfway point of the season, people right the wrongs in terms of balance of their agencies, or they've just had enough time to test the engine, get the engine working. If it isn't going to plan, work out what's not going to plan and arrest the errors that they feel is in their system.
Yeah.
Or simply put, the average balance of the odds against unvariance works itself out. We should have been fighting against the drop. This is really the scenario we're now facing. It's fair cop. So, we're going to see what we can do against it, because we've got, as I say, in terms of who we're playing, I know what I'll likely play against when I play Snake. Against Allcox, I'm not sure yet. I'm not looking too far ahead, because I'm planning on a game-by-game at the moment, because that's what I need to do. And we've got the cup final in there as well. But I did bring in a few reinforcements in the mid-season just to bulk up the number of players in this. I promoted some of my bronze players up. And then, yeah, in terms of just agency building, been doing a bit of shopping. A few bits in here and there, but I've been working out what I need in what position and stuff like that. I was actually quite happy with that price for this chap. 42 in the end. Thought
That's
it was
really
a reasonable
good,
price. Yeah, I was quite happy with that bit of negotiating. Thought this, even though he's 28, quite happy with this chap. What was it? 38? 38, yeah. 38 in the end I got him for. So yeah, a few movers, a few things here going on here. But yeah, in terms of progression, fairly steady eddies, and I want to wrap this up now because we're going to go to Bruce as well, don't we? Progression. current season, fair few ones here and there. Top end of the agency is a bit slow because, well, they're quite old, a lot of them now, so I've been trying to rest that with some of my purchases. So yeah, we shall see. Fingers crossed for tonight, boys.
Well,
Fingers
I mean,
crossed.
fingers crossed for tonight, and also fingers crossed for the cup final as well, because that's a big deal, winning a cup. But obviously, like you said, going down to bronze will be a big drop off. So yeah, it's probably best to focus on the relegation fight, I guess.
What happens now? It just kicked me out and I had to come back in.
Well, you're
So
still
we'll
there,
probably
right?
have two separate bits of recording.
Yeah, yeah.
So you'll be all right because I know we had that time where we had a problem, didn't we? When
Yeah, it did the same with Kev, and it just,
It will start a second recording
yeah.
of you.
yeah, okay, that's fine.
It's fine. Just try and break the pod. Come back, try and break the pod as many times as you can.
I don't know.
It's cool.
I was just literally listening to what you were saying about your player, and I saw obviously the keeper come up, made a comment, and then Riverside just closed down in front of my eyes. I was like, "What is going on?"
So yeah, it's Roots week for technical difficulties, guys. It'll be someone
Again.
else next week, I promise.
Again.
So going into my agency, as you were just talking on purchases, I have also done the same. I've done a bit of shopping. I bought this centre back here. He was very similar to the guy I bought last time, the Japanese centre back. He was very, very similar in terms of the stats about what's different. He's got slightly better passing, slightly worse physical, but he was for 45 and I bought the other one for 49. So I saw that and I was like, there we go, I've got to get him. That's pretty much set up my centre-backs for next season. I then picked up this guy, Mats Helgeson, 24, picked him up for 49, and he is literally going to be my backup goalkeeper, and I will discuss that when I get into Black Mamba, because I'm not playing crappy goalkeepers ever again, because it's an absolute disaster. Picked this guy up for 120, he's currently 23, he has no team, he was freshly packed. And he was freshly packed after the window, so I couldn't get him in a team or anything. So he's going to miss half a season of XP, which I'm not too bothered about, because the standard of it is 79. He's got great stats, and hopefully he's got some really great progression in him. I then bought two guys here off McBride. I bought them in a deal because I got this guy here who's right mid, centre mid, right wing. I'm probably going to play him as a right wing. He does have a really bad physical, but that passing is really good. Decent pace as well. And I got him in a deal with this guy who's 28. He's a little older than I would have wanted, but that pace is just insane. Like, that's an insane pace. And I like fast players. I like having fast players in my team. So I had to do it. I paid 130 for the both of them. I think he had him listed at 90, and there was no way in hell I was going to pay 90 for a 28-year-old who could, on rollover day, he could get the retirement symbol. I don't know. I've taken the risk. But I figured if I put in an offer for both of them, then it's, it offsets it a little bit. I'll pay a little bit more for him and a bit less for him. I did sell this guy to my wife. He's nothing special. I sold him for nothing, but he's been absolutely killing it. When she asked me if she could have him, I was like, why would you want him? Because when you get promoted to Spark, I'll just give you better players. But then I remembered, we all get attached to players, don't we? And I think he's got attached to her. She's got attached to him because, as you see how he's performing for her this season, 28 goals in 17 games with 11 assists. Wow. She has got well and truly attached to him. So I sent him over to her because, we all fall in love with players, and she's fallen in love with Victoria Tevez. We'll go to Castell first, and it has been a bit up and down for me. As you can see, we're still, this league is so tight. 43, 43, 42, 41. It's so tight here. And it's just felt a bit inconsistent since here. We lost that opening game in the second half. We then went on a good run. We lost in the cup. We then won. And then we lost to the team who are currently first. And let me see what that game was. Is this the game that I was thinking of? Even game. It went their way. But it was this one. Okay, it was this one. This team are bottom of the league. And absolute domination. We battered them, and they had 2 shots on target. That third shot was in the 88th minute or something. But yeah, they had 2 shots on goal. and scored them both. So we drew that game, which was it was just like an inconsistency. But then we've come back and I think I fixed the issue in the tactics. And hopefully these last 3 games will get me up to ice, because I was thinking about this. I would ideally like to I was saying I'm not bothered about this team, but now I'm looking at it for next season, and now I've started planning for next season. I'd ideally like to give the players in this team to my wife when she gets promoted, and then I've got an entire 72 to 74 set of players in my agency that are all loaned out that I would ideally like to put into this team. But if they're in a Spark, I'm not going to put them in Spark. I'm going to wait for them to get to ice. So ideally, I would like them to get promoted. And yeah, it just seemed so inconsistent so far. But we've got 3 games left to do it. It's still very close. These guys can all still drop points. So we'll see how that goes. And then for Mamba, this was almost an absolute disaster, because we started this with a 1-0 win. We lost 3-2 in the cup. I think that was in extra time. And then we had this game here against who at the time were bottom of the league. And I had to play my reserve goalkeeper because, my other was tired. And again, 4 shots on target and 3 of them went in. Absolute domination again. And we just lost. So at that point, I thought, oh my God, title's over. It's done. We played Monkey Fire, much like the first game of the season. We were cancelled each other out. Just look at the stats there. 50% each. XG's fairly close. Shots on target are fairly close. Player ratings. This here tells me if I'd had a striker with better physical, I think I might have won this game. But I don't, and I didn't. So it ended up in a draw. But I thought the title was over. So I was like, all I've got to do is get second now. I've got to focus on second. Started winning my games. And fortunately, Monkey Fire lost 2. I think they lost last night, and then not the night before, but the night before that, and they lost. So it's put me back on top with the game in hand. I play my game in hand tonight. So as long as I beat Ilmob 93 here, I will go top 3 points clear. And looking at the Iron League that I'll go into, and the teams that I've got promoted, with the players I've bought, I thought, oh, maybe I'll need to consolidate in Iron. But looking at the league I'm going into, there's no reason I shouldn't be challenging. So maybe I'll get back to back to back. I don't know, but we'll see. That would be very, very nice. But then,
that's unreal. I'm really happy for you with that one. That's really good.
Appreciate that. I honestly thought it was over. I thought the league title was over, but the MFL gods have smiled on me, and hopefully they keep smiling on me. I will just go to progression, because I was talking on Amreezy's podcast, and I was saying it seems like everything's dead and progression just isn't coming through. And then I've had days, literal days, 3-4 days in a row where I've got nothing from training or nothing from a match, and I'm just like, what is going on with progression? And then when I sort of zoom out and I look at it, I've been getting +1s here and there. I've been getting, and it's not as bad as I first thought. Moskalenko last night went up to an 80. I bought him at a 77, and now he is an 80. He's gone up +3 this season, which is brilliant. If you look at that progression curve, and then just suddenly this season he's just gone boom. Maybe he's close to his prime age, I don't know, but I'll take an 80 rated striker in Iron all day. I also Udo, who I bought, and I knew he had more progression because he'd missed half a season. He got +3 the previous season. He's just got a +1 playing half season for me this time, so hopefully he's got more to go. And you're not going to like this, but the guy that I bought off you, Mr. K, he's gone up again. He's now +2 on the season, and he's looking really good. I don't know how much that's going to rub it in for you as the seasons go on, but I think he's got a lot more coming as well, because he's quite good. He's only got +1 and +1 this week, but he's been getting good. Let me see current season. Yeah, he's been getting decent progression all through the season, so I think he's got more to come. So I'm pretty happy with that for what I've had so far. So yeah, so that's my week.
Nice.
So, yeah, shall we now we've gone through that, shall we get onto the topic of the week? Which, as I said earlier, there's some exciting things coming. I think with the flow hack contest coming up, people are going to be building on top of MFL, which makes me think we're going to get some new features. People were also suggesting things that they do to improve the game. So I figured we'd talk about it and we'd discuss it. And it can be about anything you want, marketplace, engine, gameplay loop, whatever you want. It can be as many as you want. I've got 4 that I want to go over, and I've put some thought into at least 3 of them. I've put some real thought into them. But yeah, so any thoughts on what can improve the game? Who wants to lead off with this one?
Go on, big Mr. K. You lead on it. You must have something.
In terms of what I want to see in terms of improvements to the game, I do think we need to have some sort of stabilisation with the market. I think a lot of people are effectively leaving the game because they're worried about what money they've put in. Do I need to get my money out now because it's not quite going a direction we want it to go to? I think we need to see a full iteration of almost like, I don't know how many seasons it would take for like the the population of the, like a large percentage of the population of the players, as in not managers but the literal players in the game, going through the retirement cycle, and then the next wave of players coming through that cycle continuously, so people can get an idea of how this market stabilises. Because at the moment we've got those with the older ID numbers, where they've got the higher average retirement age, and then you've got the second wave of the second generation of players with the slightly younger average retirement ages. I think once we start seeing that steadying of the market, I think it'll appease a lot of people, because there's every single time you see, how's that player going for that cheap? How's that license going for less than $40? Everyone starts panicking and thinks it's all over, this and that. What I ideally want to see, and this is mainly from a personal point of view, but I think it also rings true, is we have this really fast cycle of, we have the season, then you have the off-season, and then we're straight back into the season. They iterate on the engine every season, which I like. New challenges, new idea of how to, another take on how the engine works, and you've got to get your head around it. What I don't want to see is that constant cycle that I've seen for a number of, since I've joined, is you have, this is the version of the engine we're going into the season with. Great, everyone preps for it. I know I do, and I build an agency around it. Then the first week of the season kicks off. By the end of that first week, more or less, we have some sort of update / patch to the engine, completely changes, in a lot of cases knock-on effects, and there's a bit of a butterfly effect, and if you fall the right side of that, your quid's in. Nice one. If you don't, you're buggered. Unless you're willing to throw things around and really upset the apple cart and really overhaul your agency, you're kind of scuppered. And that sort of fell for me this season. 3-back formations were killed. They just don't work. If someone puts a 3-back against me, I'm rubbing my hands together. Thank you very much, because I know exactly how I'm going to play against this, because I can pull it to pieces. I haven't got any wingers. Not really. So, or certainly no quality there. So I'm slightly handicapped in that. Now, agency building, things of that sort of ilk, absolutely you can argue that Toshi should be able to have the ability to play lots of formations. But how many? How many is too many to sort of plan for? I don't want a full squad of 24-5 players. I don't want to completely just torpedo progression, because no one's going to get, not enough players are going to get the 80% games played sort of mark. So I'd like to see that here is the cut-off date, here is the engine. If there is a woeful issue with the engine that needs patching, yeah, take the rough with the smooth. It needs sorting, fair play. But we do have this iteration where we get, here's the new engine, test it now, like we've got at the moment. You have the off-season, everyone gets the teams ready, everyone kicks off, and then suddenly within the first week it all changes, and it's a bit too late at that point to do anything about it. And I don't like that. I think it's sort of, it feels very much over to the ideas like your FIFAs or whatever you call them, FCs, whatever they're called now. The game comes out like it has done recently, people, I love the gameplay. But everyone's kind of waiting for the EA to patch the game and completely change it, and people then go, I don't like the game anymore, you've made it too, it's shit now because you've changed everything that I loved about it, because you drop patch after patch after patch. I just don't want that to be the case with this gameplay, because everyone hates that cycle of it over and over again. I think the direction we're going in with the tactical approach to a game, agree, like that. I think make it more in depth. So if you want to gain that extra 1 or 2%, you can keep going more and more granular. but don't make it for everyone where, unless you go that granular, you haven't got a cat and hell's chance of doing anything, because not everyone's going to be as bothered about doing that. Or if you've got a trust the process agency, good luck trust the process in setting up in-depth tactical setups for every single team. I know people like the idea of, here's my tactic in my agency, I want to be able to copy it across. I would love more than 5 slots to save tactics.
Agreed. Yeah.
Because I constantly test things and I have to get rid of something every single time because I've found something new, and I have to almost make a mental note of which game I played it in last so I can go back to it to then look at the breakdowns to see a recovery, as it were, like a file dump of this is what how that tactic was set up, because I hate having to find it again. I'm going to stop there because I feel like I carry on going, your guys are going to sit there and go, cheers for that, mate, and go, fuck off.
No, it's good.
I agree because I'll when the new season starts, I'll do testing, but I don't start seriously testing until the Friday. You know, when they usually say this is the cut-off, and then obviously there's sometimes a patch after it. But I'll wait until that Friday before I start my serious testing. But yeah, I'm the same. I would like a point where they're just like, right, this is the cut-off, there's not going to be any changes. Like
on that, something new that I've learned this season because I've never done it, if you own all your players, or you loan sparingly, it's no problem. You've got the players already. If you're having to loan players in, like I've had to do it extensively this season, you kind of already pop committed because you needed the players to tactic test, but you've loaned them in, so you can't do anything else with them. And then trying to get loans in last minute, unless you want to shell out practically most of your MFL percentage-wise, you've not got a cat and hell's chance to do anything about it. So yeah, I do want a line in the sand where it's consistent. And everyone play, because everyone's playing to the same rule book, fair play. I just don't like this constant, it's quite late, and then actually, on second thoughts, we changed our minds, we're going to go for this one. I get why they do it. I really, really do. But can we please get some more extensive testing? They did the pre-season cut this year, the MFL, on the new engine, and they went, give us feedback. And they were doing awards. I think that was a great idea and initiative for people contributing to engine feedback. Do more stuff like that, settle on an engine, and if it needs to change a few percent because of something, fine. But because of the butterfly factor on the changes seemingly to the engine, can we just have a settled engine when we kick off the season, please? Because I was really worried going into the season for many of my clubs, because as soon as 3-back wasn't an option as a rotational piece, I was kind of going, okay, shit, what are we going to do now? Because I have to loan players in, and it's quite hard to do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to shut up now.
No, I saw it's good. It's good. That's what it's all about.
I do want to touch on what you said as well first, and you said a stabilisation of the market. Is there anything the team could do that they aren't already doing to fix that? Like, is
Agreed
that on the team,
with the
or is
pack
that just
adjustments.
us as consumers?
Both. I think it's both, and I'd weight it more to the consumer. Because we dictate the market. MFL don't dictate prices. We do by what we're willing to. And if we're having a race to the bottom, then prices drop. Soon as that, because then all of a sudden, I was like the goalkeeper I showed you earlier that I got for 42. Not a cat and hell's chance I would have got that last season for that amount of money, for his age and his rating and everything else. But it's a race to the bottom because I was looking at the market and he was on for 52, and I was looking at what else was there, and I could see there was a 28-year-old goalkeeper for I think he was 81 rated for 38, and I went, I could probably push this price down by just negotiating. So I negotiated, used it as a case example, and it's like, actually, I don't want to drop any lower. I don't have to try and max that price. I'll take that slight more because I was willing to go that little bit more above. But then I found the same issue at the moment. I wanted to sell my 86 centre-back. I just want to get out of him and redistribute the funds elsewhere. I really want to balance the agency out in terms of ages. Can't sell him for no money. If you go to any sort of valuation tool out there, historical, he's worth about 200. I had him on for 100 at one point. I dropped him below that. Not sniff.
Wow.
Not a sniff whatsoever. And that's fine. It's a buyer's market right now for certain players. And I get that. If you buy it now, you've got no utility until next season, and they've aged again, and you're taking a risk, and it's all these different factors. But going back to your question more earnestly about what MFL can do, I think the pack adjustment, quite correct. Don't need to keep. I understand they have to hit their own margins and stuff, but scaling that back, yes, supply and demand sort of vibe, scale it back. Totally agree with that. In terms of How do you bring stabilisation to the market? They brought the pack marketplace into the norm. I think that's a good move again. So if people are buying reward packs, they can look to sell them if they wish to. So they've got some sort of tangible return. They can move the money around. I've not really made my mind up on the pricing of the MFL reward packs yet. Because I'm in an unusual territory in terms of what I'm roughly going to be earning this season. That I can afford a rare player pack. But then I'm looking at it and going, is it worth going for that rare player pack? Is it worth selling that rare player pack? There's all sorts of things that go with this. But ultimately it is dictated by us. I suppose where I come back to the responsibility being on MFL is what's the overall customer survey, as it were? Why are we seeing so many people moving away? I don't think it's an issue, but sure there's something to that you want to be looking into and finding out more. I don't know.
I think the big problem that's caused it is the boom was so quick and so fast, and I don't think they were ready for that many. So they corrected by putting more players in the market, but then unfortunately some of those players left. They didn't stick around, and now that's obviously
sustainability.
There's now an oversupply.
I mean, I think the buy-in for a club now, if you want to buy a brand new license, brand new to the game, it still costs $80, and clubs of Flint level are going around $40 on resale, 40 to 50. You need to readdress that, I believe, if you're just going to be selling Flint licenses, because the earning potential in Flint is so suppressed. Like, they could earn, what is it, about 2,000 MFL max if they win the league, and then you've got the cup on that. They need to get to 3,000 to get a limited player pack.
Yeah.
It's like you have to put a lot more in before you gain any sort of balancing out the sort of economics and being sustainable. Like, how much do I want to carry on putting money in to keep myself sustainable, as opposed to what I'm earning in game is going to aid me with that? I think there needs to be that. I think for some of those lower, very low down the pyramid leagues, I would personally argue there is a case to be questioned and discussed as a community of, do we have caps as to how strong a team can be? Because I can see both sides of that argument. I really, really can. Because you should be at liberty to do what you want. But
you should, but I like my examples earlier. Like, you can only get out sometimes of the bottom leagues if you stack, because people are just stacking at the moment to get out. So people are buying those club packs in Flint, which is absolutely fine, but they don't want to be in Flint. They just want to buy a club pack. They want to be the first owner. So because they buy the pack to be the first owner, they still want really good players because they want to win, so then they stack. So you can still get out, but you can't get out with what I would class as a team that should be rated at that level. And we saw that earlier when we were just looking at the average ratings and stuff like that. And I think that is the problem with that area, because I think, yes, you're always going to have powerful teams. That's the same in any football in real life, but I still think there has to be some limitations somehow, because it's the only way to do it. Because otherwise, for all those people do love the game, put a lot of time and effort in, like we certainly do, you could just be stuck in even Spark for so long. And when I'm looking at Spark, I don't expect to have to put my 65 plus rated players in there. I just don't expect to have to do that. I expect to be putting my 65 plus rated players in Ice, and then my 70 plus rated in the next one, and my 80 in the top ones and stuff like that. And that's what I would be expecting to do. Because otherwise, where do all those low rated players go if everybody's putting thingy? And that's the problem I have. So with my agency, I've obviously got from 40s all the way up to mid 70s. But the only way to get out of those lower leagues is to actually use my 60 rated players. That I should be able to get out of Flint with 50 rated players. And I'm sure you can if you master a tactic. If they make 4-1-2-1-2 work again, which is my recommendation for what feature I'd like to see happen and change. For 4-1-2-1-2 narrow to work again. That's my suggestion for you, Bruce. No, I have actually got some suggestions though. Go ahead. Do you use the ideas board in the Discord?
No,
have you used it before? I don't. Yeah. I've only put one in there before. So one of the ones for me is speed between highlights. And that's between the highlights being shown. So when you're watching a game back, I want to be able to put it on 5 times. But as soon as a highlight starts, I want it to be on 1. And what happens at the moment is if a goal goes in and it replays the goal, that bit's on one. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So again, a football manager type thing. But when you are watching games back, sometimes you're not that. Maybe you're not wanting to watch the full game for whatever reason. But I don't want to have to click to the end to see the result to go back and watch my goals. I just want to be able to go 5 times. Highlight comes in. I want to see it. And then the other one for me is an interesting one. I don't know how it would work, but like I'd like to see like loan to buy and buybacks. And I don't know how the system would work, but what I'd like to be able to do is, again, I think it would help with progression, and because you've got two people, you've got people that have players and they want to progress, and then you've got people like you said, like your wife, you get attached to a player. And I know from my first season where McBride was good enough to give me a chunk of players, which obviously was helpful. I wanted to keep some of those players, and obviously I could have done at a cost and stuff like that. But what I would have liked to have done, and is actually gone, right, I want to loan this player for a season and I want an option to buy of X, which you would agree from both sides. And that you could win or lose, right? Obviously, because if that player goes up plus 10 and I've negotiated $20 or whatever, well, I'm winning, aren't I? I'm laughing. But if he doesn't progress at all and I've committed to it, I'm actually buying a player that's going to be a year older for $20. So I don't know how the dynamics would work, but there's something in it that I like the idea of a loan to buy, and I don't know how it would work, but I really like that idea. So, you know, even if it was a case of you loaned and the only way you could do a loan to buy was I don't know, or you have first option, because sometimes there's that as well, isn't it? Like you go in, you loan a player, you get the progression, you maybe loan them even 2 seasons, you bang a plus 4, 5, 6 on there, and you want to buy that player, but you don't know who you've loaned it from even. So they just go list them on the market like they normally would, and you can't negotiate with them, you can't communicate with them, it becomes difficult. So there's that one, which is I think would be quite good. And then like you say, like buybacks. So if like when we were talking this week about selling players and we were talking about, oh, should I sell that guy for $70 or whatever, I'd like the option to buy back again, which would be a premium, but it's an option to buy back. So like if you sell a player and he's 21 and you sell him for $10 and he goes and progresses really, really well, and he was first at your agency, like your academy, if you like, or whatever, you then would be able to have the first option to buy him back at the price that's been agreed or the market value price. You're not necessarily getting a discount, but you've got the option to buy him back. So when that player that's now 26 or whatever goes and he's progressed loads, it goes up for sale, but you knew he started at the roots of your academy. Like I say, I've got no idea how this could logistically work, but just those couple of little things I think would be quite. I mean, yeah.
Sorry.
No, go on.
I was going to say I'm not sure. Like you said, I'm not sure how that would work and how that would the dynamics of that in the live market with the player base. I'm not sure how that would work. But to touch on it, because this isn't one of my ideas, but I do think the loan market needs, like the learning system could do with something. And I think like instead of like a game clause, like he's got to pay 15 games. I was thinking like stuff like goals. You know, you learn him for 3%, and then if he scores 15 goals, you pay an extra 2%. Or if he gets 10 assists, you pay an extra 3%.
The team gets promoted, you get a portion of the. You get the MFL, but you get a bonus or something. I don't know. Yeah, I love that idea.
Yeah, I think stuff like that would be pretty cool. It just needs. I don't know about it. Yeah, it needs expanding. It needs more to it, because right now it's like people just list it. The choosing how many games is cool. That's really cool, and I think that's really helpful. But I do think it needs a little bit more. But I think I do also think with the problem with the loan market is people are really greedy with what they expect, and that's nothing MFL can do. There's nothing they can do about that. That's us. 10% for a guy in Flint, like what? Like
lots of people though want to loan a player in and give you basically nothing back. But what they've got to realise, you're giving a player up to them. You've either packed that player or bought that player or whatever, and that you're not going to be able to utilise them because they're going to them. So yeah, the minimum games is good because it guarantees they're going to. Well, it hopefully guarantees, but then you got the flip side. It doesn't even sometimes, because some people don't actually care about the percentage, so they're not that worried, are they? But then you've got the ones that really just don't want to give you anything. It's like, well, hold on, I've given you 5 players, and you've literally gone and got promoted or whatever as well. And he's been a top goal scorer or whatever, and just nothing happens.
On loaning, I would also add the ability to cancel a loan if you are the owner of the player, if you feel like the conditions aren't being met. So if you've got a 15-game clause and they've played 3 games, that 3% MFL you might get, oh, cool. I make the game clause the heavy-weighted factor. It's like 10%. To some people, it means bugger all. They don't care, especially if they just end up being not playing, not committing. But if it's like, okay, but the first half of the season, I want him to play 6 games. And if you've not met, you have the ability to cancel the contract. Because it's all about the progression in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
And if your guy's just rotting and you can do nothing about it, I'll only loan players that I value to people I know.
Yeah.
Recall from loan would be a good one. Yeah, I like that.
Agree. Sorry, I got a text from my wife. She has just now secured the Flint title. She is champion.
Nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations. She sent me a gif of a Nottingham fucking Forest player lifting the European trophy. Babe, United, come on, what you doing? Nottingham Forest, you're mad. But yeah. So yeah, I'll move on to I'm aware of the time, and we've got a lot to get through. So I'll do my best so everybody's not sat here with like a 3-hour long pod. But so I'll go with the first one, and this is the one that I've gone more for features that I think will improve the game. And the first one I think will have not the ROI, but it is kind of what I mean. But like club history, I think it is necessary. I know they've done the kit maker, which is going to be cool. Once they've done that, I think they need to do club histories. And like I said, it'll have the biggest ROI because there's one thing I realised with this is I have a friend who doesn't get Football Manager at all. He doesn't understand it. He sees me playing it and he's like, "Oh, you're playing Spreadsheet Simulator," which I'm sure is a game you two will fucking love, right? But to him, he's just looking. All he sees is a bunch of numbers and data. That's all he sees when he looks at it. Whereas I look at it and that's my star striker who came through the academy, who's, 1 goal away from breaking the all-time goal scoring record in my team. And, it's that immersion that this type of game needs. And I think that will bring a lot of immersion because otherwise, if you don't have the immersion, it is just Spreadsheet Simulator. That's essentially what we're playing. So that immersion is very, very necessary to make this game what it is. And I think club histories would go so far with that. I
think it'd be really good. You get a tab across the top and it's got history. Because it's even like you've got the activity feed with it all there, but it's so difficult to know. So I want to know, I want to look at my rum lads and I want to know which transfers I brought in and for my agency in season 6 and then season 7 and compare. And then, like you say, go into players and who's been the top scorer across those seasons at the same person and that kind of stuff. And I think I don't think it's that difficult maybe to do because I think the data's obviously all there. You just need a nice looking page, don't you?
I was going to say that the data's all there. I can see, my player, what club he was at season 4, how many games he played in the cup. I can see how many goals he scored, how many cards. It's there. It just needs all putting in on a page on your club for that specific club. Yeah. And I don't know how easy or hard it'd be. To me, it looks like it wouldn't be hard.
No. Like a graph to show them going up the leagues and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's the immersion is so important for this game, especially when we're playing with dots. The gameplay is just dots. We really need that immersion, and club histories would go a long way to giving so much immersion to the game. So I think honestly, once I've got the kit maker done, cool. Club histories. You've got to go and do club history. I know Nepenthes has been asking it for 2-3 seasons now.
Wow.
It's needed. We need the club histories, I think, and that's something we should definitely work on.
I mean, the kit maker is cool, but that wouldn't be in my top priorities for me as a personal thing. I think, but obviously that's the thing here, isn't it? We've all got these ideas, and they will have these inevitably. A chunk of these are probably on their list. and it's prioritising it. And obviously, kit making is globally probably massive because everyone loves a kit. And then
well, it adds to the immersion. It
adds to the immersion, yeah.
It does. But...
so it will be cool. It's just, again, if I'm just going to the info tab and I'm seeing my kit there, or I see it on the loaded into a game screen, is that... I know it's the immersion, but to me, I'm fine with just knowing my colours are black and amber, like, which I know sounds like, and then because my dots are what I'm watching, right? I mean, even when I play Football Manager, I'm still 2D. I love the dots. I've always played it that way, and it's just the way I am. Which is probably why, again, the kits are, to me, I'm a bit like, I'm just happy with the dots. Yeah, which is fine. What else have you got? Have you got another one or two on your list, or are you?
I've got three more. So the second one, is again this. I don't know whether they would do this, but what is the one thing during the season we log on MFL for every day, at least twice?
Progression.
Right, exactly. And if you don't, you're a weirdo. Honestly, if you don't. And we have the season, and we get progression, and we're logging on every day to check our progression at least once. And then the off-season happens, and it's almost like you have no reason to log on at all, really. And I think one thing that would counter that is if we have pre-season training or a pre-season training camp. And then we're talking about specialisation, like maybe you do training specialisation. I think keep training as it is now, the same. And then in pre-season, you can have a training camp for your entire agency.
Yeah.
And that's where you can specialise. You could say, okay, this training camp, I want this player to work on shooting. I want this player to work on defending, and go down the list. And then you have like a pre-season training camp leading up to the season, which will give us a reason. Everybody loves progression. It'll give us a reason to log on during the off-season just to check, which gets them more thingies, more traffic on their website and stuff like that. And I think,
but those types of things would get people buying players, registering clubs quicker, and that kind of stuff. Because I know, like, once this season ends, I'm not really in a rush to register my players. I'll have them on my spreadsheet. I'll know what I'm doing. But if it was a case of, right, the season ends and, I don't know, the following Monday training camp starts, I'd have all my players in. Even if it didn't get as granular as you said, where you could go target attacking and shooting all that, which would be evolution in the future. That would be unbelievable. Like your attackers go there and that, and it becomes more agency based. But even if the starting point is just club based, so as long as you get them registered in and you've registered your club for the league, so you're committed to the season, have pre-season training. And even if it was a 50% hit on what can happen in the season or whatever, like, because it doesn't want to be the same as in the season, because they're not going to be technically trained as hard. I would literally log in every day, twice a day probably. Exactly. Even if I know I'm not getting games on a night because there's no games, I'd still like there to be an ability for the progression to happen a couple of times in a day rather than just a morning. But even if it's a morning though, that logging in, how many times you log in and look at your progression, then you look at a player, and then you go look at someone else's progression, the player, or you got someone on your watch list and so on, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, you've brought a player in or you've done whatever, or you know what I mean? Though it happens though, doesn't it? Because you're getting enthralled in that progression. I know Big Mr. K is like looking at players all the time. So actively in the website. Yeah, that's what I mean. So yeah, I think that's a really good shout, Bruce. I really like that. But I think get it in the ideas board as well. Go use it. Like, I know I'm not working for MFL.
I'll put it on the pod, and that's it. And everybody else, it's cool.
Well, I'll go put them in for you. Don't worry.
Cool.
I'll look after you, mate.
My third one, I think we should have stadiums. But again, like as I was saying about immersion, and I think, because I've seen some people suggest it as like, oh, we get an NFT, and that's your stadium. I don't think we should do that. I think the stadium should be tied to your club. And I think everyone should start with a park field, local park, that's your pitch. And everybody starts with that. Mm-hmm. And then you pay MFL to upgrade it. Let's say I get a main stand. And let's say this main stand will give me a +1 to a random stat. And make the stat random so people can't meta it. Make the stat random, and they'll get a +1 to random stat,
like a captaincy bonus.
Did you Did you used to play that? Was it Ultimate Soccer Manager? Just having a look at it. There.
Oh, what a
I used
game.
to love it.
What a game.
Yes.
Unbelievable game. And I think that would be brilliant, Bruce. I love that idea. And again, I'd want it tied to it because I do fill in my bio and I give my stadium a name, and I've got them all named how I want them for my clubs. And I would love a little. See, again, for me, stadium before kits. I know everyone's different, but I'm loving that.
I've got another one. One. Like, what we need to be able to do as well, you need to be able to save your game and then play the game. And if you lose your game, you load your game and you play again.
No, you cannot be doing that. No. Don't get that one started either.
I remember doing that with Morecambe, because that's where my grandparents were. We were down in whatever league it was at the time, trying to beat Arsenal in the FA Cup, 4th round. I think I spent about a week doing it until eventually I won that game.
I can't be having that.
No, that was like 10-year-old me. I know you would have been at uni and stuff, Rube, but it was like 10-year-old me at the time, just trying to get through that cup final. So the FA Cup round. But yeah, if
don't get me wrong, it's heartbreaking.
MFL game, save our MFL game and then load it again if we don't like the result. That'd be grand.
But obviously, go on. I was just going to say it's an MFL pod, but on that Football Manager pod, I've just got to put it out there, right? Like, yes, it does feel bad if you've got a long, hard season, you get to a cup final and you lose. But that you've got to take it. You cannot be. I'm sorry. You cannot be saving and reloading, and that's the problem with the youth of today.
Save scumming. Yeah, I know.
Go on, Bruce. Sorry, got another one, haven't you?
Okay. So I, just on that stadium, I think you can have multiple ways, and like I said, have it attached to the club, because then that's also going to attach the resale value of the club, because obviously you're pumping MFL, and that stadium, say you get a stadium and you've upgraded it fully, and you've got a +2 to pace, a +1 to physical, and a +1 to passing. That might make that more valuable to someone because that club has that type of stadium that's going to suit them. And then also, what was the last bit I wanted to say about it is that will help with the home and away. You know, there's no difference between playing home and away right now. If you had your stadium and it gives you stats depending on how well you've built it out, that will give you a home field advantage.
Yeah.
Which would fix, that'd solve that immediately. There you go. There's your home field advantage. It depends on how well you've built out your stadium for the club. But again, it adds to the immersion. It completely adds to the immersion, and it's an MFL sync as well.
Yeah.
Somewhere else to spend your MFL, which I think would be really good.
The home and away thing's interesting because I literally do not care if I'm home or away. I don't even know what's going on. Don't matter to me at the minute. Doesn't matter. But I'd like it to matter. I'd love to have my home. I'd like to be undefeated at home. I'd obviously like to never lose a game, but you know what I mean. Like I would love that. Or you're keeping clean sheets because you just got like a solid defence at home. They just play better at home for whatever reason. That could be because, like you've said, in your attributes, your stadium has got like a +2 across the board or whatever it is for defence or for the defenders or whatever that is, and they get +2 on defending, not an OVR, just a +2 on defending while they're playing at home, and that just allows them to be just that little bit more in strength, and I think that'd be brilliant. And it would be fair. No one can say it wouldn't be fair because everybody plays at home and everybody plays away. And then you do add it, and I would look at a calendar then, which I just don't now. I just look at home playing and I don't think about home or away. But if I had to think about it, I'd be like, right, okay, so I'm at home, so I've got an advantage. Yeah.
Agreed.
I love that.
Agreed.
Love
that. And the last one I've got, which I think is the best idea, but I know it would cause issues. So I've tried very hard to foresee those issues and come up with a solution. And I think a really good thing, because again, like I said, off-season just feels dead. There's just nothing to do. We need something to break up the gameplay loop of league, off-season league. And I think internationals. And it's been suggested before, but some people have suggested having tiers. I don't think that. And I think this would be very useful when club delegation comes out, because I think all the international licenses should be held by MFL. And then they delegate them to managers. And you can only manage an international team for 2 seasons, like 2 tournaments, which will be played in the off-season. And then when your 2 season things finished, you go back into the pool. You can't manage an international team again for 2 seasons. And I think to make it fair for everyone, there could just be a little thing on your profile like, I'm interested in international management. And clicking that puts you on a list, and then it's just randomly selected off that list. You get offered, the Costa Rica job. You get offered the Costa Rica job at random. And if you accept it, you get them for 2 seasons. If you reject it, it acts as though you've just managed an international team, and then you can't manage an international team for 2 seasons. And like I said, I don't want it tiered. I want it to be FA Cup style. Like if Brazil have all the best players, Like, because that's how it is in real life. There's no caps on the World Cup in real life. Brazil can play Panama. And I think that would be good. I think it should be held, like I said, a 2-season period. So you should have 1 season, and they could do it between reward day and rollover day. I know that's only like 2 or 3 days, but you could even extend that a little bit for this. So 1 season you have the World Cup. Following season you have your Euros, African Cup, Copa America, and that stuff. And then next season, World Cup. And it should follow on that cycle. And I think for people, because I know some people will be like, well, I don't want him using my players. This is my player. I own this player. So I think anybody that gets selected should automatically get selected with a 2% rev share contract. So even the people who aren't managing, but their players are getting used, at least they're getting something for it, and maybe a little bit of XP as well from the matches. Because then that'll, at least, someone else is using my players. Nothing in the international game should affect them, ever. Like, suspension.
But how much good fun would that be? Because, like, you get the job, and we'll just pick England because we're all from England. So you get the England job, and you've got a couple of days, say, to prep before the tournament starts, or however it does. You're going to be scouting in the market because you're going to have to look at the players. You're going to band it all out. You're going to have a pool of English players. You're going to filter by England, do it all. Start with a striker. I don't want him to be this pace. That also links exactly into what you were talking earlier about the histories. So you've got player histories at the moment and club histories, but having it a bit overhauled where you're actually able to go, right, well, I only want to see players that got 15 goals in the last season. Because I don't want to see anybody that didn't, and you build all that out, and you're like, okay, well, I've got 10 players now. Then you go into each player and so on, and like literally it gets immersive, doesn't it? And from that, you call them up for your international duty, you do your 2% thing like you said, and then you get to manage players you maybe would never even get a chance to, because that gives people that are in Flints and Sparks and all that to have like the Harry Kane version of whatever it is, and literally manage that person. And it also, what it means is these people, because they're doing that and doing the scouting, it does lead to purchases, it does lead to sales, it does lead to loans and all these things, because every single time you're in the market or the loan screen, there's always a potential for a transaction to happen. So taking people on that journey, it's interesting around how you do it, because I agree. I don't think I would want to have it across multiple levels. I just want the best of the best players like you would have in real life. And the difficulty of it is the fact that not a lot of people are going to get the chance to do it every season, are they? Because you'd have 32 clubs, wouldn't you? So it'd be random pull, wouldn't it?
It wouldn't have to be 32. They could do it as big as they wanted. If they did the World Cup, they could literally just do a tournament that has them all. Like, because the Wenderk had like 259 teams in the Wenderk, something like that. It doesn't have to be 32 for the World Cup. World Cup is all international teams are involved in the World Cup, and then the following season you get your Euros. So all the European teams have their tournament.
Okay, got you now.
All the South American teams have their tournament. So everyone will get a chance to play, and even if they're crap in the World Cup, they might do really well in the Asian Cup. They might do really well and win it. You don't know. It gives a bit of a balance, I think.
And I like the idea of it being that they are. Go on, sorry. Go on.
I'm saying it's just a massive MFL showcase. It's all the best players from all these different nations, all getting together, different people managing them. It might actually be someone who has the Spark and Fling Club suddenly managing a team of ultimate players. Well, legendary. Let's be honest. Like in terms of how many ultimates there'd be, but rare and legendary ultimate players. Legendary. I'm getting confused now. But anyway, those top tier players that they would never in a month of Sundays get any access over.
Absolutely.
And then all of a sudden they're putting their take across because they could be an absolute wizard tactician.
Yeah.
But we just don't see it because they're down in Spark and Flint, and you just make those assumptions like Spark and Flint. That's where Root is. No one wants to be down there. So you just make those assumptions all of a sudden. Well, that's the point, though. There could be some real good tacticians out there who've not had the ability to demonstrate this. And as you say, it's a massive showcase. The amount of advertising you can do around that.
It would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Stream the final. Like, you could stream the final on the site. I know they do it with Jimbo's. When Jimbo streams, it comes up on the main page. Do that with the final.
MFL, get me in for marketing. Get me in for marketing. I know what I'm doing. I know how to do this thing. I've done it many, many times in my career so far. You can make such a showcase out of it and really, really push the name in lots of different areas and make free it up to. So, for example, if I'm a new user to the game, I can go on and see games. I can see random friendlies being played, and I might log on and look at a league game. But if you do this big showcase, all of a sudden, loads of people who might be new to it and like, well, what is this? You could do all sorts. You could almost do like a streaming version of it if you really wanted to, where you've got, I don't know, when Dirt Boys doing sort of the commentary over the competition. You know, they do the esports sort of vibe, sort of thing, talking about this, bringing people in, interviewing, talking to them. You can get a massive clutch of people together managing these things, showing the tactical setups before a game, obviously not being able to see each other's tactics, and then off we go into the games that we can commentate on. There's so much you can do with that, and you're just using the infrastructure that already exists. You've just got to build the framework in a specific competition and certain people into it. And I do like your idea, Bruce, of basically put your name forward if you'd like to be an international manager. Then you can be approached if you'd like to take part. Look, you did. Why not?
And that's where the histories will come in as well, because you in the history you'd have in this competition, this person was the manager, and this is where the team finished, and this was the team. But then you could even have like the best 11 of the tournament for the players, so showcase the players even more. You know, not just golden boot and stuff. You could literally have the best 11, which is worked out on the whatever tactic and stuff. Yeah, I think it would be brilliant. I like the fact it's like that as well. Not just somebody can just be the England manager forever and always. And that's why I think the way you're doing it there is spot on.
Showcase the new engine. All
oh my God, yes.
Perfect time to drop it. It's also you as managers watching teams and going, that tactic does really well. I want to look into that tactic. And if I look into that tactic, I haven't got wingers. I'm going to go to the market and go buy some wingers. And they get their cut every single time. It's just turn and churn and churn and churn. I think it's very, very much possible. And if we have to enter a realm of the off-season is longer, but we implement these things in the off-season, yes, it will draw the longevity of people's careers and that turnover and the churn and things like that. But there's so many potential advantages you can bring in there. You've got the competition, you've got the potential training camps. There's lots of stuff there. I think the World Cup one in particular, from an infrastructural point of view, nothing wild has to change.
No.
The training camps, yes, it would.
Yeah.
There needs to be an acknowledgement there of how they would fit such a thing in terms of the back end and all that sort of stuff. But with regards to the World Cup one, that's a social one. That's a social activity that they have to do a bit of, the admin in the back end, because they've already got the pre-season tournaments and cups. MFL Ramble have done one. You've got Wendirk have done it. They did their own for the engine testing. It's just let's make a big spectacle of it and let's do a big marketing push. It's a World Cup year.
Yes,
exactly. Why aren't we just flying that flag?
We would all watch it. You'd all watch other people's games because it'd just be over them 2 or 3 days. You log in on the homepage, and the first thing in the middle is World Cup. These are the fixtures today. These are the times they're on.
7 p.m. UK time. 7 p.m. UK time.
And just don't do the spoilers again.
Countries.
Yeah.
Make a big spectacle of it. Get people watching it. There's all again. I'm extrapolating on this idea more and more and more. But think about like the viewership things. If you are watching and engaging it on insert name of channel, like your Twitches, whatever it is, they do it with the FIFAs. When people watch those things, they clock that you've done an hour's worth of thing. You get an in-game reward. The little trickles of MFL, that are just little tick, little tick, little tick, little tick. There's so much that can come from that, and it's the marketing angle. That's the angle you're going here. It's exposure to it, to a wider circle, to a wider circle, to a wider circle. And you can target so many audiences with this. So many.
Yeah. And like you say, it's showcasing the best players. People that might be interested in the players. You'd go back and watch the games. Don't have the spoilers on there, so have it so that you don't know the results. If you don't watch it live, you can go watch it. Still do the stream.
Yeah, I love shortlisting managers of who I believe are very good tactically, and I look.
I mean, you don't have me on your list, so that's not very nice.
There's a reason for tactic testing, but I look for certain managers because you come across them and go, "Oh, actually, they've got a really good setup for this particular thing. I want to test against that person," and then you try and rinse and repeat. I love the idea from my own point of view, being able to watch something like that and go, "This guy looks really interesting with how he's doing a pretty good job here. I want to follow what he's doing. What is he doing? How is he performing? How does he set up?" Because it's all curiosity to me. I want to sample more of the game, and how many of us get asked the question where if you've done various different pods before, do you watch the what's the name of the top division now? Diamond League. So many people say no because it's unreachable, it's untenable for them. This would put it in the hands of people who we go, actually, it's a bit tenable for me now.
It's absolutely reachable. Like I said, with the churn over every 2 seasons. My biggest concern was people being like, well, they're my players, why should you use them? But like I said, that's why you put in it gets selected, they get a 2% rev share, because then at least you're getting stuff for it, they get some training. Why would anybody...
If you own the high-value player, you're getting something for the fact your player is being used. Has no negative implication. There is a positive gain. I think you need to avoid the XP piece, if I'm honest. I think you avoid that. But the revenue one, absolutely, because all of a sudden you're adding extra factors into the back end in terms of like the off-season. It's like that's part of the system's turned off and aging and stuff. Do the age before it? Do the age after? All those factors. It seems like a very easy... It's a marketing one. It's a marketing team push.
Yeah.
I'm available.
Well, I thought that was a good idea. But we are pushing, boys, on for an hour and a half, and we do have tactical things to do. So, I mean, if we're done with that, I think those were all great ideas, and I think hopefully the MFL team listens to them and starts to look to pushing forward, because I think they were all great ideas that would help improve the game.
I think personally it should go on the ideas board, Bruce. The World Cup one, I really, really do. And he's thinking out and he's putting together almost like a business case, as it were. Again, I write them on a regular basis, but putting that across in that sort of fashion, I won't even go the ideas route. I'd just go direct to them.
You reckon?
Honestly, I would.
Okay, well...
They're very receptive.
To be fair, I've not talked to anybody in the team. I'd feel a bit weird about it. Like
I have, out on a whim, and they've been brilliant. Really, really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, yeah, I would put it in the ideas board, but I do think reach out as well, because the good thing with the ideas board is it does get traction. I think a lot of people go in there and read what's in there and thumbs up it. Like there's some in there like 28, 30, whatever thumbs up, and I don't know if they use that as a gauge for things that they do improve or not, or if it's just something's there. But they will absolutely be reading that ideas board, right? But you could also reach out directly as well, I guess. But right, yeah, we do need to get into tactic testing though.
We do actually, because we are
literally
like, if this was the old Wendell Calver would be having kittens right now. Yeah. we are 1 hour 30. So, who wants to go first, or shall I just choose one of you at random?
Sorry, what are we doing now? I've just gone to the ideas board for the first time and found Root's thing, so I've just downvoted it. So I was just amusing myself with it. Anyway,
literally right. I'm going to go first for that, no matter what. I'm going to try screen sharing now. It's kicked me out. I'm back in. If it's blank, then obviously one of you boys will just have to do it again.
You can't show the thingies though. We can't see your tactics.
Oh. Is it working?
That looks really impressive, that, mate.
Yeah.
Why is it really... Why?
It's more homework than you did the first time.
This is so annoying.
You're definitely on the right tab, right? You're definitely clicking the right tab.
Yeah.
Because you've not got a tab open that's just black.
No, I've got a little thing as well that says it's sharing it. It's got the board around it like it does when it shares it.
We're not seeing anything, mate.
No.
Right. Okay, hold on.
So
I'll share and I'll go to Root.
I did it.
You want me to? Yeah.
Yeah, I did it on highways.
Where's Root? Oh, there he is. Okay.
Yeah, it's better for you too because you have me in your list, so that's fine. Yeah, good.
You're at
So
the
you'll be
bottom
at-
of my list, if that helps.
You can still go to friendlies initiated, right? So I think it was okay. So obviously it's literally from the 5-0, I think. They were my results for the tactic I built. So
This one.
yeah, so 5-0, 2-2, 2-0 and all that. So they were the tactics. So I'll just talk it out while you've got it up on the screen. It's probably easiest. So
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
just go into it. So I love this formation, by the way. So I think it was brilliant. So whoever voted it, I was umming and ahhing about it, but I literally had a 44 rated left midfielder as well. But it worked out really well. You can click through them all. So I'll talk through the instructions. So I had attacking width, like on the 6-yard box line, basically. So one up. I played direct, played balanced. So played direct, played flank preference balanced, take less long shots, balanced crossing, dribble less often, and balanced attacking tendency as well, is what I did. And then I had trigger press more often and clear the ball more often, because I've used that a lot now since you talked about it a while back. Team depth bang in the middle, and tight block just the side of the 6-yard box. And then for player instructions, goalkeeper controlled and play out of defence. I was really aggressive with my tactic as well. All three defenders, low freedom, more defensive and more aggressive. And then the middle centre back, he didn't have more defences on, so he could move forward a little bit as well, which you sort of like see on the heat maps. And then central defensive midfielder, again, passing risk conservative, low freedom and more aggressive. Lots of players on more aggressive. And I didn't hardly get any bookings. There was a few, but not as many as I would expect. And then my left midfielder and my right midfielder, passing risky and again more aggressive for both of them. So that's everybody from from the middle back are on aggressive. And then the cam, high freedom and balanced long shots. And then I think the front three were on more offensive and high freedom. So everybody had all those front four could literally go. The front three, so the left winger, the right winger, and the cam could go anywhere they wanted. And the striker, he didn't have the high freedom, so the rest of them did. So literally everybody from the left midfielder, right midfielder, central defence and defenders, all very aggressive, but didn't get a lot of cards, which was, just the way it was. The 44 left midfielder, the 44 rate, which is by far, he was playing completely out of position because he's a left back, and he was the 10 under most of the players in the team, was absolutely brilliant. He was getting assists. I think it was I don't know if it was in that last game, in the last one I did, the 3-1. I think he get all the assists in the 3-1 on the one. I think the one I won, so the one before that.
Oh, the one you won. Okay.
Yeah, the one I won. Yeah, sorry. So I think it was in the 3-1.
Well, both 3-1, mate.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there you go. Look, he got a goal and 2 assists. And he's 44 rated, and he's just not. He's not even he's left back, but he was brilliant, and I loved watching the game, watching the positions and watching the highlights of how everybody was playing with them instructions and that setup. It worked really well. I just did the random thing. If you look at every game we played against, nearly every club was better than us as well. So not by miles, but we're better across the board. So 56, 57, 58, 55, 51, 57. So our mid was low. So they're all generally a bit better than us across the board. Certainly in midfield, every single one was. And we just played really well. I mean, I think getting, 1, 2, 3, 4 wins out of the 6 games is, yeah. It was great to watch. I'm a big fan of that, and all my testing was done on the new engine. So all those games are on the new engine. They're all against various formations. So there's a 4-4-2 you've got on the screen now. There was a 4-3-3 attack, a 4-3-3 defence, I think. So I went against lots of different formations. But yeah, really, really good. Obviously, I can't share the details, but if anybody that's listening wants the details of it, then I can take the screenshots and send them across.
Can
you?
I can't actually.
Yeah, I don't think you can
I
you?
was going to say, can I go to the match report, but I can't see yours, can I?
I don't think it'll, yeah.
Yeah, don't show
Unfortunately not, but I can share it with people if they want to have a test of it. I can share it, because I know I just rambled across all the settings, but I can put it somewhere where people can get to and they can have a go of it. Because that was obviously going to be one of my suggestions on the suggestions bit, was being able to apply your tactic across multiple clubs, but also share your tactic to people. I'd love that, but let's not go backwards. But I'd love to be able to do that. So I know when we're talking about it a lot, and in our Discord, we do talk about tactics a lot, and then you had to do it the other day, Bruce, like laid out the whole thing, and then, you know, Big Mr. K's going, got to go make it, and then I've got to go make it. Just sharing the tactic would be lovely. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I thought it was brilliant.
Few people.
Yeah, I think it'd be
I've
great.
been sharing tactics with a few people on a number of occasions, and people are always like, do you mind if? Which is the way I'd approach it, because I'm always curious. And yeah, I think us having a space potentially, or some sort of place where we can share it, if it's a feature in MFL or something, we look to facilitate guys with what we're doing tactic testing wise. I think people will be able to look at variations on it and then pick up the information and then implement it. I think that's an interesting one to do for definite.
I think 3-4-3 Diamond as well was. It was obviously I didn't turn up the first week, I didn't do my homework, so you know. But in terms of tactic testing, I really enjoyed doing it, and because of the heat maps, it allowed me to learn. So in the first game, even though I changed it, that's what I settled on. Not all those games were on them same settings, because I was evolving it. So I was like looking at the striker, going, "Well, hold on a minute, he isn't being a striker, so he needs to not have his freedom anymore because he's literally becoming a midfielder." And those types of things, even turning on aggressive and off. So what I landed on, I only played like the last 3 games on maybe, but it was still better when I was watching it than the first game, even though the first one was 5-0. Does that make sense? It was actually played better in the later games. So yeah, loved it. Anyway,
cool. So do you want to go next, Adam, or shall I?
I'll jump in, mate. I'm already on it at the moment. So what I'll jump on first of all, I've been doing loads of tactic testing recently. Yesterday afternoon, my daughter was at a 5-year-old's birthday party that was for 3 hours. So I dropped her off and went. And I went to the gym for a few hours. So while I was there at the gym, I just kept repeating the testing and going. The first game I got was here with the blueberry raspberry blasters. And it started off okay. This is a great result here, and I made a few amendments tweaked along the way. What I found was when I played certain very strong teams, this is a gold team, which was way stronger. I might replay them again and see if there's anything worth tactical tweaking against a certain formation. And I just some of them I just moved on from. If I saw like I got a draw here, okay, a little tactical tweak, here we go. And then sort of by the law of averages, what was I generally landing on? This was one of Workspace's teams. I think it's a gold team. Is it a gold team? I can't remember now. But yeah, 4-3-3-D. I just want to see what level they're at. No, they were a silver team, but they were a very strong silver team with the false 9, which I really want to tire that out at some point, so I like the idea of the false 9 formation. But a much stronger team in comparison. 85, 85, 81 there. They're 85, 87, 87. It's not a very strong formation for my silver team, but it's the only team I could test this with because I've got wingers in this team that I can run. So I need to now load up all the friendlies because I've been doing a lot of friendlying. So here we go. Yeah, we're at the Tokyo ones. Kept going through, and I beat this team earlier on. It drew them again. I thought, right, I'm just going to call it there because I was happy with this iteration. He plays a 4-3-3-D. He's got a ridiculous team, 86, 86, 88, and we still managed to pick up a draw against him in this case. But let me go through to the tactic. So yeah, in terms of what I had available to me for this tactic, I was sort of exploring it as a potential team to play. Go for the team instructions. I think there was some similarities, Root, in how you put yours together. I would say my attacking width narrowness was around 25%. I didn't go wider, I kept it more narrow. I play controlled. Don't normally play controlled. I had a bit of a tactical tweak around this for a particular reason. Controlled, no balanced on flank preference, less long shots, cross more often, because I think it's just a must this season. Dribble less often, attacking tendency balanced. Around the 40% mark for team depth and compactness, so just slightly off centre to the left. Trigger pass more often, balance aggressive, and play the ball out of defence. Don't like giving the opposition team the ball.
You refuse to clear the ball. You refuse no matter what.
In testing,
In
testing, it shot me in the foot more than it's been. Honestly, when I've done tactical testing for every single tactical setup, I always play with it like I do with the cross more often before I actually turn around and went, I need to be doing it. I find I concede more goals, and the highlights show the ball being cleared. Because I have to play a bit deeper because my defensive line aren't very fast. They get screwed over because they can't get out over and over and over again. Where if I put it on play the ball out of defence, they tend to play it to the players that I want to get the ball, and then we break quickly. I find clearing the ball more often just doesn't work for it might just be my squad composition, to be fair. So yeah, start from the back and work my way up. So as always with goalkeepers, I like them to play control and play out of defence. Don't let them give them the ball away. The defence was the interesting one because you saw I was on controlled earlier. The left and the right-sided centre-backs, they're on direct and more defensive. The central centre-back, direct again, low positional freedom and more defensive. These guys will then slip over and cover if a winger's got in behind one of my wide men. But I've always got one centre-back that's staying as a unit in the middle. And I found that defensive structure worked quite well to help break up those counter-attacking through balls. For the DM, direct again, more defensive, but I've also got a risky passing because he's got 95 passing. And I want him, if he's going to go direct, I want it to be him. I found playing controlled meant they basically got boxed in this little area. Play controlled, they sort of play a few triangles, and the rest of the team's up here, and they're going, shit, now what do we do? And they get pressed, or they make a shit pass, and then they're straight on us again, and the numbers game. Left and right mid, high positional freedom. I want them up, I want them helping support attacks, but I want them getting back, so they do help with that. The attacking mid, same again. He is on high positional freedom. He breaks into the box, but he also tracks back and helps out where needed. High positional freedom on the wingers and more offensive. I do like this sort of idea because if you've got high positional freedom on lots of players and you're crossing the ball more often, they tend to be on the end of crosses. And the striker just on more offensive. And what I tend to find with having that controlled style play, as soon as we got into their half and we're playing control passing, we've got number overloads and we weren't giving the ball away. Because if we went direct at this point, we gave the ball away, the counter's on behind us, and we haven't got numbers back because all of our numbers are the other half of the field. And yeah, I've always wanted to play this formation. I think it's really exciting. It's a very attacking formation. It does that sort of blend of controlled style play when attacking, but direct when we're trying to play through the quarters, especially in our own half, seems to work quite nicely. I think specifically for my team, because my centre-backs, if I just load them up super quick and go for attributes, beggars can't be choosers at silver level if you haven't to loan, 59, 57 and 55 pace. So it's a no-brainer. I can't be playing high defensive lines. I don't want them dicking around with it. They haven't got the highest passing stats. They've got the defensive and the physical stats. Let's just play into their strengths. Give it to that DM who can spray the ball and just break. And then when we're breaking, we're overloading, which is what this formation does really, really nicely. And the amount of times that we quickly counter very strong teams if they had control of the ball in our half, and we're just breaking so quickly. I mean, the striker in this team is just filth. Where is he? I mean, his tier broke this season while he's been on loan. 92 pace, 93 shooting. So get the ball direct to him. That's what he needs to be doing. But yeah, I really like that formation. I think it's a really cool one. Just at the moment, for my agency building next season, I want wingers that I own, and at the moment I don't have any. So I'm having a bit of a scout at the moment and keeping my eyes peeled.
Okay.
Yeah. It made me want wingers. It makes me want wingers playing them formations. Yeah. Go on, Bruce.
Go ahead, Bruce.
So it's interesting you did that because I initially, what I wanted to do, obviously, like you said, this formation excels in overloads in the forward areas. These right and left mids, getting forward, overloading out wide, and putting it into the middle. So I really wanted to play high line, high press, and controlled. But this whole thing, I think this formation is something that you can't just do. It's very personnel.
Yes.
Very, very heavily personnel dependent. If you don't have the personnel, this won't work, as I'm going to show. Well, I mean, I got this to work eventually, but I had to do so much jiggery-pokery to get it working that it's like, well, if I just had the right personnel, I'd have to do a lot less things. And the big one here, because this is where its big weaknesses, is your left and your right mids. Now, as you saw on Mr. K's team, his left and right mids, they had like 86 and like 92 defending, whereas I've got 63 on this guy, and this guy here on Santos, he's got 63. At this level where I'm playing stone and iron teams, that's not enough. It's simply not enough. A lot of the goals that were scored came from the wide areas and a ball played in, because these guys just got rinsed like out wide. What you really, I think what would be ideal is to have like a right wing back with right mid as a secondary position, because then you'll get that high defense and those high physical, which is very important for them defensively. I did all of my testing on the new engine, and I got a lot of really great insights that I was planning to share, but I'm not going to share them on this one. But they might help you for next season on this current engine. This gave me so many insights into what does and doesn't work. But again, I had to change. Like I said, I had to change. I had to pull the line lower because we're not super fast in defence. Like that middle one's got 53. He's got 70 and he's got 69, I think. Again, at this level, I just don't think it's enough to be playing a high line in this formation. So I'd say you'd need fast centre backs and left and right mids with high defence to really, really make this work and make this easy. I'll go through my instructions. Like I said, I had to go direct because the control just wasn't working for me. And I also went narrow. And there was a reason I did that because I had it in the middle. Well, do you remember when we were talking about your left back who's right footed, Roo? And
Yeah, yeah.
he says he comes into the centre of the pitch more. I think I've realised it's kind of programmed into him because if you see here Pfeiffer, he's on the left wing in his right footed, whereas Moskalenko here, he is right wing and he's right footed. And all you obviously want him to play is like an inside forward and getting the chances and coming in and score, being a goal scorer. But I think because he was right footed, we'd be here with a chance and he'd be all the way over here on the pitch. And I'm like, I don't want you there. I want you there. And all the chances I was wanting him to get were coming to this guy because he was making the inside runs. And I do think that if you've got, a right-footed right winger, he's going to play like naturally as a wide winger. Whereas if they're on the opposite foot, they will come in and cut inside. Like, not enough testing to say it for definite, but from what I saw, that was that was the case. So that's why I went narrow to try and get him in there more, and it still didn't really work as much as I wanted. Left this unbalanced, take less long shots, cross less often, and this one I always put this here, but this is one of the insights. This might change for the next engine because this seems very powerful, but again, this might also be because my wide players were crap. So yeah, I set them to attack more offensive. I wanted them more offensive. And then about 25 to 30% on depth. And then that's about 30, 40, 35% there. On compactness, told them to trigger more, balanced aggression, and then clear the ball more often. And for the instructions, the player instructions, like I said, I had to do way more than I should have. That's something I'd do normally. But then the defenders, I put them on low, I put them on more defensive, and this was really important to making this work, was less often on the press, on all three of the defenders. Because I was finding if one of these guys just goes just a little bit out of position, you're screwed. You're absolutely screwed. So it's like I don't want these guys going up and pressing at all because I need these guys to stay in a line and stay where they are. Because as well, if you get a red card in this formation on one of your centre backs, it's over. Just the game's over. Just it's done. For my DM, I think I just put more defensive. The wide mids, I put them on positional freedom low because I wasn't that bothered about the attack. I had them on medium. I had them on high. And they just kept getting caught out. They'd be up here along with the winger here, and we'd get caught out on the wide. So I just put them on low to keep them in this position here and balanced attacking tendency. And I did the same for both of them, and like I said, eventually it worked for me. For my Cam, I put him on dribble more often. That's just because he can dribble, and I put him on risky passing. I would like a Cam again. This is where personnel comes in. Is with better shooting, because I found a lot of the time, a lot of chances were falling to this Cam, and he was just putting it wide because he's got bad shooting. If he had higher shooting, I could probably score a hell of a lot more. On the striker, didn't change anything, just balanced on his dribbling. For the left winger, give him high positional freedom. And Moskalenko, again, high positional freedom, take more long shots. One thing I've noticed as well from the heat maps is, again, I'll need to test more, but when you put them on high positional freedom, you'd think they go everywhere. But I found when I was looking at the heat maps, they don't. They go up and down. It's just vertical.
Yeah.
There's no horizontal movement. It doesn't mean because I was like, oh, put them on high and maybe they'll come in here inside. It didn't. What actually happened is it made us more defensively stable because they were coming back and helping, which is what the team needed. But yeah, I was hoping it'd go left and right as well as up and down, but it doesn't. It just high freedom means up and down from what I have seen on the heat maps.
I think it's linked as well to the defensiveness, though. So,
Is it?
So if I noticed like up and down, but if I then put attacking or defensive, it was way more the other way than the other way. Do you know what I mean? So if you had that winger and he was set to his attacking tendency, he would likely go forward more than actually coming back, which is really good for a cam if you want them to be like a secondary striker getting in the box. Because on the last engine, the engine like we had last season, if you had them on the cam on high freedom, they did get in the box, but they still came back to the centre back to the midfield line. Whereas now, if you have them on attacking as well, where they actually are is almost pretty much as far as they come back. They don't come back much further, but they still go right into the box. And that's what I've noticed through some of the testing as well. So, yeah, it's still trying to figure out how that... Because obviously everything's got a link, hasn't it? You can just turn one on and it doesn't have an effect to another one. They've got to work together. So, yeah. But, yeah, I noticed it doesn't go left and right either. Because I was trying to get the same. I was trying to get my... I wanted my left... The two side centre-backs to push out, which is why I end up going to a wider formation than you guys have gone narrow, because the only way I could get them to step out.
Okay. So that's actually interesting. And I think that's, maybe they help because my wingers were on more offensive because of the team instruction. But we go through the results. You see these first 6 here. These were all me trying to do high line and controlled, and it just wasn't good enough. We just weren't doing anything. So that's when I started switching to direct, and we went direct. We had a great first game, big high scoring game. I think this was against another 3-4-3 as well, actually, because I found that if you play, oh no, it wasn't, but I did find if you play a 3-4-3 against a 3-4-3, there was lots of goals scored on both sides. It was crazy. But yeah, that's where I started going direct. But then, as you can see, the defensive vulnerabilities were just becoming very plain to see. So I spent these next games like just trying to fix the defense rather than the attack, and I started to get it around here, and then I had a good couple of results, and then I'd have this 7-2 6-4, and I was like, it's still not there. Like, what have I got to do? And like I said, I had to work overtime on the individual instructions to get it doing what I wanted to do, whereas if I just had the right personnel, I wouldn't have to do that. And then this is where I got to what I've shown you now, and all these rest of the games from this 6-3 here all the way to here. This was where what I've just shown you, and it seemed to do pretty well apart from this one blip here. Lots of goals. It feels kind of like a glass cannon. It's like you can score loads, you can also concede a hell of a lot, loads. But again, like I said, I've repeated it over and over again, very personnel heavy. I think if I had the personnel Mr. K had, these results would probably be a lot different, because I just didn't have the right people in the right spots to do the right things. It is a really, like you said, the games are fun to watch. They're really interesting to watch. But it's like, would I use this in the league? Not with this personnel, because I'd be too anxious, because one game I'll batter someone, next game I'll get battered. So, yeah. So, there we go. That is Tactics Corner. We've decided what we're doing next week, haven't we? We've already said we're going to do 4-2-3-1. Did we
4-2-3-1, yeah. People have asked for that.
So we won't ask for that this week. But I did like you putting the poll up. Yeah. I thought that was a lot better. Putting the poll up. So from now on, we'll put two on, and we'll do a poll on that week and get you guys to vote on it on X. Because I think that was a hell of a lot better.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was good. I'm just keeping a chick sheet of the ones we've done. So the idea, when I do the poll, we won't put ones in that we've already done.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so let's move on then to the very final part of the podcast. We're nearly done, guys. I'm really sorry. And that is common to rare or more. And how have your guys done this week, guys?
I've got some progress.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of progress. Where is he? Mr. Orlando? Where are you, sir? Oh, it's because he's gone up again. I can't find him. I was looking too far down. Where is he? There he is. Yeah, if I just show you for the season, I guess, because that's what it's currently calibrated to. Here we go. Here's the beautiful man that is Mr. Augusto Orlando. I think it was the other day he went up. I think he got another one in his dribbling and then something in his defending. He's now up to a 57 rated defender. So this is the first season in the development centre, and there's a nice boop as he started going up now.
Really?
So his tier broke. He's gone up a couple more levels now, so he's now a 57 rated defender. Won't be available to me or anyone else for 3 more seasons. Is what it is. But yeah, at the moment, in terms of this makeup of defender, I'd like to see a little bit more in his defending, because he's 54 defence and he's 57 rated CB. The physicality is properly propping that up. Pace will become a factor at some point, because he's nowhere near at left back, even though apparently he can play there. So yeah, making a bit of progress. I'll be honest, boys, I think I've got this one. Sorry about that.
It certainly looks that. It certainly looks like the dev centre's the way to go, isn't it, really?
Definitely.
For the right age. There's no point otherwise.
Yeah. I mean, I'll show mine really quickly because there's not a lot to write home about. Mr. Krebs here did get another +1 in his defence. He's +3 on the entire season in defence, but that is it. But
how's his fitness?
He's 95. He's been
Ooh,
rested. That's good.
Excellent.
He's actually got he's got a shooting. Oh, that must be tonight. That must have happened tonight. Yeah, that must have literally just happened in the game. So he's got a +1 in shooting. That's cool. But yeah, +3 on defence for the season. So yeah, yeah, he's getting games at least. He's doing something. Just obviously now I'm like, should I put him in the dev? Should I have put him in the dev centre? So how about you, Root? How's it looking for you?
Well, obviously I won last week when I wasn't here. I won last week, regardless of being here or not.
No, you didn't.
So that's a fact.
Zero, right?
That's
he's
a
still
fact.
got 0. Nah, he's still got
Anyway.
What's his name again? What's the name of your guy?
Craig Warren.
What's the name?
Warren.
Still Warren.
So he got
So-
in the last 7 days. He's got a +1 on defence, which is fine. He's playing left back and a +1 on physical in the last 7 days. And I've been playing him more because I said I'd do that now, which I should have just done from the first couple of weeks. But I have been playing him more. But yeah, so he's not obviously gone an overall, but clearly he's progressing. He's doing okay. But clearly this week he's not the best star. But yeah, I'm quite happy with him, to be honest. His defence is obviously woeful at 37, but we knew that. But I just like watching him play. Literally, like what you talked about before. That's why I've started playing him, because yeah, he just cuts in from that left back side, and I really like it because it gives me like almost two CDMs every now and again, which I've actually like in my Lowlands team. Which we don't show on here, like because they get obviously my Flint teams just get battered week in week out. But it's weird because results aren't every part of the story. Same with tactics testing when we were doing tactics corner a minute ago. The results are every part of a story. So watching how they play is really interesting. But yeah, I'm not really holding much hope. I don't think he's going to boom. He's not booming yet anyway. So.
Well, I think it's safe to say Mr. K has won this episode, so it's currently 2-1-0 to Mr. K. I think.
No, I'm not having it.
It is. That's the case. You weren't here. How can you claim the win if you weren't even here? You can't. Like he can't claim the win next week.
Yeah, true.
Obviously, K isn't here next week.
Oh,
so
I am so excited for
I'll
next
win
week.
the
Bruce.
season. I can have a week off and win the season. It's just great.
I have literally got a little
Totally
list
fine.
of things to say about you for while you're off, so you'll love it.
Hey, I've got thick skin, my friend. You can say it whenever you like.
You are going to
You're
need
welcome to. If you'd like me to disappear so you feel more comfortable, that's totally fine. It's all right. Don't worry.
Well, guys, that has been a lot of fun. I know it was an extra long one, but I do think the topic of the week, we got some good stuff in there. Discussion points for other people as well. So I think it will at least be interesting, even though it's been a long one. So we do apologise for that. We will try to keep it down. But yeah, the topic of the week called for it, I think. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Again, thank you so much for the support we have been getting on this podcast. All the shout outs, the other podcasters, they could be dicks about it and not shout. They're all shouting us out and, mentioning us. So thank you very much. The community is just wicked in MFL. So thank you very, very much for that. And we will be back next week. Obviously, no Mr. K next week. I think we talked about trying to get a guest, but it was a bit...
Yeah, I'm not sure where the guest's going yet, so we'll see. If
So
not,
we will
we'll just
try
ride.
guest. It might just be me and Root. But yeah, so thank you very, very much for watching, guys. We really appreciate it. All the likes and subscribes and everything.
Yeah.
And obviously, ask your questions in the comments. Any formations you want to see that we can put in future polls that you want to see us do in Tactics Corner. And good luck to all of you for the remainder of the seasons, except for the teams in my leagues. Yeah. Until next time, guys. Goodbye.